Peace, 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 peace. What's going on, everybody? What is up, everybody? What is going on? It is the Joey Digital here. What is going on? I got the green screen going on in the background. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Just want to say what is up, see what is good with the collective. You know, I want to go ahead and send y'all some positive energy frequencies and vibrations in this moment, you know, in hopes that your day is a blessed one. You know, how I actually want to say, how is your week? How has your week been? Hoping, wishing, and praying that your week has been a very pleasant and blessed and prosperous one. Okay, I want to go ahead and get that out the way real fast. And yeah. I'm actually about to put some music on real quick. I was waiting for some more people to come through the live. Yes, I am here. I'm just using the green screen real quick until I get this music on. All right. Yeah, switch it up a little bit. You already know what it is. Joey Digital here. I don't know if y'all can hear the music. It's on a low. You know what I'm saying? Got the roots done. Got the locks done. I went the whole day without wearing my MOLDAVITE, which is crazy. Crazy. I never do that. It's so funny. I had it charging on my Apparel piece real quick. And what's going on? I see I got one that checked in. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. I had it charging up on my Apparel, and I didn't realize it was off until I was halfway across town, and I was feeling kind of light. I was like feeling kind of light, like, yo, where's my stuff? Where's my MOLDAVITE at? I went like this, and all I was wearing was this. And then I remembered I left everything on the on my Apparel piece just charging up. And I was just like, hey, well, you know, it's all good, because I always travel with my MOLDAVITE anyway. You know, special shout out to Gana Q 2Z dash T1Q, sending you positive energy. Let me know where you're checking in from. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Go ahead and like and subscribe. You know, I'm just playing some music from my playlist, from some of my beats that I made. So, you know, I'm vibing out. You'll see I got my roots done, you know what I mean, vibing. So, yeah, I got all the way across town and realized I did not have my MOLDAVITE on, but I always travel with MOLDAVITE anyway, so I had another MOLDAVITE with me, but, you know, it gave me an opportunity to kind of see, you know, because I've been wearing my MOLDAVITE for like the past, like every day for about the past, pretty much 3 years. 3 years I've been wearing it, you know, and that particular piece. And it was just kind of interesting, you know, just to kind of like not have it on and see, you know, just to see what's going on with everything. What's going on, Grace De La Cruz? What is up? Special shout out to you. Let me know where you're checking in from. Go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe at your earliest convenience. Yeah, man, I'm just here talking about this MOLDAVITE for now, and you know, but I'm super grateful to have you checking in. Go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button at your earliest convenience. All right. Um, yeah. actually just got in not too long ago, so my apologies for hopping on kind of late. Well, I always hop on at this time anyway, pretty much almost every night. I'll hop on late night. Um, but yeah, I'm just, settling in, getting all my devices charged up, getting everything charged up for tomorrow, because that's how I like to have everything. I like to make sure everything is charged up and ready to go. Um, Grace De La Cruz says okay. Yeah, so I just want to know, for the current and new subscribers, where in the world are you all checking in from? Okay, like I'm currently in USA. I'm in USA. I'm in South Florida. You could say Miami, but it's Fort Lauderdale. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and it is 12:06 a.m. Let me turn this down a little bit. It's a little bit loud. It's 12:06 a.m. So it might be a little bit late here, but depending on where you are in the world, it may be not as late, or it may be morning. So I always like to be conscious of where everyone is checking in from. All right. So, if you feel inspired or you feel motivated to let everyone know where you all are checking in from, hey, I would love to give that part of the world a shout out, give y'all a shout out and send y'all some positive energy, frequencies, and vibrations in this moment. So yeah, I'm on the other side of town without the motivate on, and I'm like, oh man, it was crazy because, I usually I'm on point, and like I might just, if I was close enough, I would have went back, but I was already so far out of my way, I was like, I'm not going all the way back for it. I was like, at least I know where it is, um, you know, and I always, for this point, and this point only is the reason why I actually invested in other pieces of Moldavite. So I had another piece of Moldavite that I keep with me. So I didn't worry about it. But it's just a thing. It's just a personal preference. And, you know, um, for those of you all who are inquiring, Moldavite is a Tektite. Okay, it is an interstellar Tektite. From a comet, from a what do you call it? A meteorite. That has the origins of it is it crashed in the Czech Republic around 18 million years ago. Okay, and it has, when it crashed in the Czech Republic, the explosion was so great, it bounced up in the sky, and the the um, the Moldavite was so hot. No, the what do you call it? The I want to say, I don't know why I'm being called to say the ingredients, but whatever was in the meteorite was so hot, it created a liquid glass that is translucent. Okay, and so that is pretty much the only area that you can generally find Moldavite is in the Czech Republic, and the powers that it carries is, of course, it carries otherworldly energy. The energy is otherworldly. Hold on, I got this commercial going. So it promotes rapid transformation. It also is a very high vibrational stone. It um it also, what it does for you is it puts you on your life path. It puts you on your right path, and it also um expels and gets rid of any negative energy that may be attached to you, or any comfort zones that you have. It gets you out of your comfort zone, and it puts you on your correct timeline, so that you may experience your highest possible version of who you are. And also, Moldavite is a catalyst for change, rapid growth, and also intuition as well. So if you are one that is a very empathic, if you are one that reads energy, if you are one that can look at other people and read what they're thinking, feeling, or maybe saying to themselves, and you are looking to build your discernment as far as like how how you judge character in people, this is an excellent stone to use, Moldavite. It is very strong. This is an advanced Moldavite is an advanced metaphysical crystal. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all my Moldavite right here. The screen right here. It's underneath my chain, and the other piece is wrapped up in a it's wrapped up in a thing, so it's like I have to disassemble. I have to disassemble all of the crystals that I have inside of it in order to show you. And the piece is about as small as the white on my nail. It's very tiny, but it doesn't matter like what size you have. It works, you know. So yeah, I'm just vibing out. I'm vibing out with everybody. Just giving y'all a left update on my day. Thanks to everybody who checked out my video that I posted earlier, and I just want to thank everybody, current and new, who has had the opportunity to see the content on my channel, and pretty much the content that I create here on the Ocean Experience. First of all, this is the Ocean Experience. That's the name of this channel. I'm the Joey Digital. That's my name, and the premise of this channel. Christopher Sammy, what's going on? What is going on? Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. I'm super happy to see you. Very happy to see you. How has your week been? Sending you and your family high levels of positive energy, frequency, and vibration. So yeah, I am, just talking about the channel, talking about what the channel is all about. The channel is all about inspiration, motivation, metaphysics, spirituality, and artwork, of course. Okay. Oh, okay. Grace De La Cruz says, okay, I'm 7 age. Oh, okay, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, you know what? I have a wow. I have a daughter that's about to be 7. I have a daughter that's about to be 7. I have a daughter that's 14. 14. Why am I saying 14? 12. I made a joke earlier tonight, and I said she was 14, and I don't know why it's sticking with me, but she acts like a 14-year-old, but she's 12. So, I mean, she's very respectable, very, humble and nice, but um I guess maybe, because she's so responsible. She's very responsible for her age. So I have 3 kids. One is 12, one is going to be 7, and one is 2 going on 22. Yeah, me. What's going on? What's going on? Christopher Sammy says, Joey. And then Christopher Sammy says, who that? And then Grace De La Cruz says, hi, hi. Okay. I guess y'all are just talking amongst yourself. So yeah, yeah. So I actually my kids are asleep. So you know what I mean. They took it down for the night because they got school in the morning. So I made sure they ate and did their homework, and the whole thing. We stayed up late. Actually, it's funny. I try and get them in the bed around like 9 o'clock sharp. So I make sure they do everything before 9, and they still end up wanting to stay up late. So, that's kind of my little struggle with them, is getting them to actually fall asleep, because they love to drink juice and eat candy right before they go to sleep, and then I'm wondering why they're not falling asleep. So I'll be like, oh my goodness. But it's my fault. It's my fault because I'm like, yeah, go ahead. And then lately I've been catching myself, and I've been saying no, like I'll say, like, if they're thirsty, I'm like, hey, just drink some water, or whatever. But that juice at night, unless it's with the dinner, no. No juice at night. because I'm not gonna be up all night listening to toys and which I don't care. It's just that they're sad when they have to wake up in the morning, so I don't want them to be sad. When they have to get up super early for school and stuff. So life of being a parent, you know what I mean. I love it. If I had it to do all over again, I'd do it the same way, all over again. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I see I got more people checking in. Hit that like button, subscribe. Hit that like button, subscribe. You know, show some love to the channel. Um, and yeah. So, definitely let me know where y'all are checking in from. Let me know what part of the world you all are checking in from. Go ahead and, if you want to support this channel, The Ocean Experience, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you want to support this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Send a major thumbs up through. And, maybe leave some comments of gratitude and appreciation in the comment section if you feel inspired to as well. You know, earlier in this video, I was speaking about Moldavite. I was talking about Moldavite, and I've been pairing Moldavite with a lot of different things. Like, I've been pairing Moldavite, which is a Tektite. It's not a crystal, but it's a Tektite. It is found in a crystal shop. It's found in crystal shops all over the world, but also it's a very high level advanced crystal slash Tektite rather. And actually I wear Tektite every day. I wear this one right here is a black Tektite, but it actually comes from a crater as well. It comes from a meteor, and it absorbs negative energy, and it promotes positive energy, and it actually is actually a really good stone for intuition. So I work with a lot of different interstellar stones and metaphysical properties throughout my day. So yeah, so yeah, I'm just vibing out, man. Just talking about Moldavite, talking about, and also too, I just want to say too that so many things have changed in my life since I've been wearing Moldavite for like the past 2 or 3 years now, and I've been, oh man, I've moved, you know, since like when I was before I started wearing Moldavite, the life was pretty comfortable. Life was good. Life was comfortable, and things were going smooth. But what's so funny is my discernment wasn't the same as how it is now. So, there was a lot of things that were going on, a lot of moving pieces that I was not aware of before I started wearing Moldavite. So when I started wearing Moldavite, I started realizing that a lot of the choices and the things that I was deciding to keep in my life were not serving me. So I by wearing it, what it does is it just makes you choose you. So I moved, I changed jobs. Well, I was in a and I don't get super deep about relationships, but like a relationship that I was in had ended, um and it just seemed like I had a clean slate. Like everything just kind of was available for me to gain and win, and I just started really taking control of. I was wondering why my arm looked like that. I started really taking control of my life with all of the new opportunities that were coming in, and I started like wearing it while I create my YouTube videos, and my channel just started blowing up. And yeah, what's going on, Christopher? What's going on, Christopher Sammy? What's up? And Grace De La Cruz, what's going on? Yeah, no, my name is Joey. I'm the Joey Digital. That's me. That's me, y'all. The Joey Digital. That's me, and that's my my creative name. I'm Joe or Joseph or whatever. But when I'm, creating, I actually got that name from creating art on my tablet. All right. So I create a lot of digital art and illustrations and logos on my iPad. And that's actually a name that a friend of mine from high school gave me, is the Joey Digital. So, but yeah, anyways, like I was saying, um, because I know some people in the comments were asking who was Joe. I guess they was debating. So yeah, I started wearing the Moldavite in the video, and I started noticing that the channel started really blowing up, and I started really getting really confident with, just showing up, and I felt like I was really connecting into my flow state a lot heavier while wearing that I want to say crystal, but it's a Tektite, you know, and I just started noticing that things were rapidly changing, constantly changing, and I was constantly evolving and ascending and getting to like higher levels with everything that I was doing. And even right now, I'm in a space like I'm in my new space where I live. Oh, excuse me. I don't mean to yawn. I apologize. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. I'm in my new space where I live. New way to make money. You know, eating good every day. Doing things with my free time, spending time with my kids. We go out, do things, eat food, ice cream, all that type of stuff. Um, but what's so funny is when I first started wearing Moldavite, I was like playing it small. Like I was just like very like in my comfort zone, and I was very I used to just kind of like put myself last a lot. I don't know why I was doing that, but I know now. Now I have 20/20 hindsight, 40/40 hindsight. But back then, I just was doing the comfortable thing, which was, um, being available a lot, and, putting my issues later, or dealing with my issues later or tomorrow or whatever. And I started noticing that I started building my confidence up when I wore this Tektite, and I really started like drawing a line in the sand, no pun intended, because I know I have the sand behind me. Drawing a line in the sand as far as like my boundaries and the things that I agreed to do. I started like really carrying my energy with me, where I live and on these workplaces, when I go to these workplaces, and when I interact with people. And I started realizing that a lot of times people, places, and things um, only only really like you when they can benefit. Like when they're benefiting off of your energy or what you bring to the table. They love you. You know what I'm saying? But I started noticing that when you start learning how to like put your foot down with certain things, and decide what you're gonna tolerate and what you're not gonna tolerate, you start like you lose a lot of friends and a lot of people that you thought was family, but you actually gain a soul tribe. Like you gain people that you actually have people come into your life that you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to um, give a drawn out story. People just feel you. They feel you. You can sit with them. Y'all don't have to say a lot of things. Y'all don't have to have a lot of conversation. They just get you. Um, and it's really cool. Because you actually step into your power, and you're not overpowering people, but you're stepping into your power so that you can be better than you. You can be better than the version of yourself that you were yesterday or earlier that day or earlier that year. And that's what I love about working with Moldavite is that you really get this strength and this protection around you, where people will be intrigued by you, but they know that you're protected as well. And I started really stepping into my role as a chosen one by recognizing my power. Like, it was my power that helped me move into the places I moved into. Um, and it was my power that I brought with me when I would work at places. It was my power that I was bringing into friendships or relationships or like a brotherhood or anything, and I started recognizing that my power matters. The energy that I bring, the energy that I cultivate and use within realms of myself, it also matters when I'm in public and when I'm with people. And so also, this is where my discernment came into play. Is in order to have that level of power, you have to have discernment, not only just with other people but with yourself. You have to be able to discern yourself and say, okay, when should I use this power? Should I use it with this job, or should I use it with, do I have to use it when I'm home, or do I have to use it when I'm with my friends? Or because a lot of times you don't have to use your power when you're aligned with the right kind of people and places and things, you know but when, if any event that you are in a space where you're being asked to dim your light in order for other people to shine, you actually start realizing that no, you don't have to dim your light in order for everyone to shine. Everyone should be able to shine and use whatever light they choose, and your light has everything to do with you and nothing to do with them. And so I learned while working with Moldavite that whatever light I'm shining with is the light that I worked on. Like, I chose to put the work in, and it's a very powerful metaphysical tektite. And you definitely need a lot of grounding when working with Moldavite. And so what I use when I'm working with Moldavite is um I started out with black obsidian, but then I actually kept the black obsidian and I went in with the black tourmaline and the hematite. Like, I started really getting my grounding stone, and I started learning that I'm able to ground that energy of confidence down into all of my chakras. It's not just my crown chakra or my third eye open. I'm learning that, you know, as I'm getting these visions, as I'm getting these downloads, as I'm getting all this information coming in that's telling me to change this, do that, move to this town, leave this job, go to a different job, go to, because Moldavite is a stone of rapid transformation, right? You see everything fall apart, but then what you don't see, or what you start to realize, is that nothing is falling apart, but everything is falling together. Because the only things that are falling apart are things that were coming into your life to siphon your energy and take advantage of what it is you're trying to create before you can create it, you know and you start getting really intuitive. Like, you start being able to read people, places. Like, there's certain places I won't go anymore, or I wouldn't go in the beginning of my journey, and now I don't care. I can go anywhere now because I feel like I'm aligned with everything. Then what? Oh, okay, I see. Oh, they still talking. Okay. So yeah, I learned that, by using the grounding crystals like black tourmaline, black obsidian, I was able to ground that confidence energy into all my seven chakras, and really just get super honest with myself. And even, as I said earlier, with the black tourmaline, no, with the black obsidian, just bringing up a lot of the drama, or the old trauma, or the old, suppressed problems. And when you deal with those suppressed problems and you solve them and you find out why they were in your life and why you suppressed them, that's actually a block that you're opening up, and that's stopping you from being your greatest version. So the very thing that you're afraid to tackle is the very thing that is stopping you from getting to your desired reality. There's a version of you operating as your highest self. There's a version of you operating as abundant. There's a version of you operating as wealthy. There's a version of you operating in full unconditional love mode, you know, whether it's self love or receiving love from other people. There's so many different versions of you that are ready to be in alignment with what your current reality is. Just that if you are not able to do the shadow work and work on yourself and isolate, you know, because I believe in isolation and I believe in shadow work. And I also do a lot of, um, I also do a lot of, um, I work with bismuth, which is a shaman stone, right? If anybody has ever worked with bismuth, it's a stone that allows you to be alone for long periods of time and not feel alone. It's a stone that helps you to have inner vision. It's a stone that helps you to see things with clarity. Even though clear quartz crystal, which is this crystal right here, this long white one, this long clear one, is a stone for clarity and psychic ability, and pretty much clear quartz crystal has the ability to mimic any and every crystal. Every crystal ever created, clear quartz crystal can mimic it, or tektite, it can mimic it. It can use that energy. So you don't. If it's one of those crystals that if you don't have any crystal and you just have clear quartz, you can use it to do everything. But like I was saying, I use black obsidian to really get deep into whatever is stopping me and clear it out, because if I'm holding on to something but it's stopping me from getting to my desired reality, why do I need it? I can just send that out into the universe. The universe can use it for something else, you know, and I can fill that void with what it is I want to do so that I can celebrate my wins and enjoy being alive every day. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate y'all for checking in. Um, you know, I feel like I should go a little deeper into the Moldavite. Um, should I? I don't know. I don't mean to yawn, but it is a little bit late. I'll tell y'all what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it here. Go ahead and get yourself some Moldavite if you are near your local crystal shop. Definitely feel it in your hand, feel the Moldavite in your hand. And there's some things that you need to know before you actually purchase a piece of Moldavite. And I'll share these with you before I get up out of here. Moldavite is, as I said, a very high vibrational crystal. It's one of the strongest tektites in the mineral kingdom, and its powers and properties are very dynamic, and so the very first time you feel a moldavite in your hand, you're going to feel a surge of energy going into your body, up your arm, into your body. It's going to go in and clear all of your blocked chakras. It's going to open up all of your meridians for your chakras, and it's going to clear any negative energy out. And what it does is it calibrates with you. So it's learning you the same way you're learning it. All right. So when you get your first piece of moldavite, if you hold it, it's learning what it needs, what kind of work it needs to do, and it's learning you the same way you are learning it, and you are feeling its power. So the first time I held moldavite, I did not buy it, but I was a witness to its energy, and it was very strong, and it kind of felt like if you've ever had peppermint oil on your hand, or icy hot, or anything like that, where it just feels like, or I'm trying to think of what's the other one. It's something else. Those creams that you find in Walgreens or something. Like those creams where it's like hot, but it's icy hot. It feels like that. And then I remember when I first bought Moldavite. When I bought it and I was wearing it, I would wear it everywhere, wear it at work. It's a confirmation. I was wearing it at work, and I remember just being in a fog for like about a week or a week and a half, right? And I just, the fog that I was in was, it was like, they call it the Moldavite flush, all right, where it's like it's getting rid of all of the things inside of you that are no longer serving you, like your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings. If you have a certain unhealthy attachment style, it is literally going into each chakra and breaking down all of the things that are stopping you. It's stopping everything that is, that's trying to stop you from being great. It goes in and it breaks it down, and that's what they call a Moldavite flush. And a lot of times you'll either be dizzy or you might have a headache. I experienced dizziness. I felt like I was floating. you know and also what they don't explain is that when you use Moldavite, you start to you start to get massive amount of downloads. You start to get a lot of downloads, a lot of downloadable messages, energy. You start realizing everything is conscious, right? And when I say everything is conscious, that means like you notice, like every time you look at something, a name will be shown to you. Like you'll be in the kitchen and you'll look at the rectangle up against the wall and you'll say, oh, that's a refrigerator. You'll look at the other rectangle that's alongside the wall. You'll say, oh, that's a microwave. You'll look at you'll look at the table and you'll say, oh, that's a table. Or you'll say, oh, that's a sink. Or you'll say, and you start noticing like objects have a conscious. You realize like objects are conscious. Not they don't have a conscience, but they are conscious. Um, if you say what everything in your house does, that's when you realize they do have a conscience, because you'll say, "Oh, a table is meant to write on, or it's meant to eat dinner on, or it's meant to put a bag on, or it's meant to put a fruit bowl on, or it's meant to serve supper on." Like that's when you start realizing like everything has a conscience, right? You'll look at people, and even with me, I'm making this video and I don't have any glasses on, so you can see in my eyes, right? The eyes are the window to the soul. So you can look at me and you can tell, is he authentic? Is he being honest? He looks happy. He looks tired. You could look at me and you can tell everything about me, and that'll make you conscious of me, right? You can look at yourself and look at your feelings, your thoughts, and that'll make you conscious of you, right? And so you have all these downloads coming in, and then you're also looking at everything that is conscious, and it's just an overload. It's just like when people are on the internet all day and they find out all this information all day, and there's just so much information they have to sit with it. And that's the same way Moldavite does. It's like I wasn't a deep thinker, like I wasn't always in my head, but working with Moldavite helped me to just look. It forced me to look at everything, and I started reading people, even like where I was working at. Like I would read people. I could tell who was in a good mood, who was in a bad mood. I could tell if they're talking about people. I can tell if they're in turmoil, or if they're going through something, or if and it's just so funny because I would wear this it's like the last job I worked at, I wore this Moldavite, and then within the first year was working there, people that was working at that job for like 20 years, 30 years was like, oh yeah, I'm retiring, you know. And they were so happy to retire, and they would like come back to the job periodically and visit, and they'd be like, oh yeah, we travel the world now, and like they just started being in more in alignment of the things that they like to do. And I just thought it was so funny because it was like they didn't leave the job because they were angry. They left because they felt like they had more things to accomplish. Or I started watching people, because you know how some jobs are, right? I know, right? I said I was only going to do a half an hour video, but here I am. It's 40 minutes, right? So I started watching people, because you know how cultures are on certain jobs, right? And sometimes it's a lot of like drama, or like they have like a lot of like not ulterior motives, but it's just a lot of moving pieces. Like, it's not enough sometimes to just do your work and go home, right? And so you're at this job and you watch people like they want to like they done picked on everybody, so now they want to try you, right? So now they're coming near you, but every time they come near you, they start getting enlightened. They instead of they're coming near you to talk about you or to cause a problem or to you know start some mess with you or get you distracted from getting your work done. Da 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 da. And then it's like as soon as they get near you, they don't understand why they got so much love for you, right? Like the Moldavite is literally blocking them. It's like blocking your aura, and it's so funny because like you'll see them coming over, like they come over, they got the evil eye, they got the and then it's like as soon as they get around you, they start cracking jokes, they start having like the best day of their life. And then when they start walking away, they're like, man, what was that? I don't even like him, or I don't even like this job. Like when they be by themselves, they be wanting to call out, they be calling out of work and stuff. And then it's like when they get around you, they be so happy that you came to work. They be like, "Oh wow, hey, what's going on?" Da 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 da. Like they show you stuff in their phone, and it's like you could tell they don't like you, right? But they end up loving your style, and it's like it changes people. And it's like I've seen people that didn't they like tried to not get along with me, and they just couldn't help but love me. And it's just the funniest thing because it's like I'm on point, like I see what's going on, but it's like at the same time it's like your aura is so blocked. It's like people can't, they trying to figure out how to get to you or how to get in your head and stuff. But then it's that at the same time they get close to you, they start loving your style. They start, like people start talking like you, they start thinking like you. Like I never forget, it was this guy, right? And you know, pretty cool guy, right? And so, but he would get around me and he would start getting enlightened, and he wasn't really built like that. He wasn't like and it was just super awesome to see him like kind of like ascend, right? And he would start getting super enlightened, and he started telling me like saying certain things, and I thought it was amazing because I was just like, I knew it was, that's how I knew this crystal was real. This Tektite was real, because I'm like, yo, anything else, if I wasn't wearing this stuff, it would just be like we just be button heads. I already know. But at the same time, it's like, I'm usually the type of person that like I always will take the high road. I don't care. I don't care what people got going on. As long as I could show love, if I could show love and stay out the way, I'm pretty cool with that. But you know how it is sometimes when when you're working on a job, it's like you might come in a good mood, but they might have their own thing going on. And so that's why I like to stay out of the way. I like to stay far out of the way. If I don't have nothing nice to say, I won't say nothing. If I can help, I will. You know, and that's why I always tell. You can watch any of my videos and y'all can see that I always tell y'all I have great times at my job. At any job I work at, I always enjoy working because you know I grew up watching people go to work. I watched my mom work. I watched my mom work two jobs and go to college. You know what I'm saying? I watched my brother go to college. My sister, everybody, get up, go to work. Everybody, in my house, everybody was getting up, going to school, and getting up, going to work. And so when I grew up, I just like, I'll never not going to work. I'll never hate on working or you know what I'm saying? I always, never had an issue once I did get a job and start working, because I like to make my money and stuff. So, but it's just funny, like, when you work at places and you wear like Tektites or Moldavite or any kind of amulet or anything that is spiritually protecting you from any kind of low vibrations or negative energy. And it's just funny to watch people because it's I never really disclose, like I don't go to work saying, yo, I got a crystal ball. You know what I'm saying? Like I keep it to myself. But I don't project, I don't project, and then at the same time too, um, I just like to, like I said earlier, just do my work and go home and stay out of people, out of people's business or out of their way, but at the same time, if I can do something for somebody, or if I can help out, or if it's something that I can say positive, you know, that's what I'll say or do, so long as I'm not getting in people's business or trying to, you know what I mean? I don't really, you know, um, think that's acceptable, as far, if I may be super transparent, especially when you're working at a job. But at the same time, too, I know that I'm working on certain things energetically. And so I needed to, once I started doing my research on crystals and tektites, I did want to have higher discernment. I did want to have clearer goals. I did want to motivate myself and motivate others. So it was a method to my madness, if I may say so myself. So I started to really, um, just watch how people interacted while they were near me while I had on the Moldavite, and I just would see people's life like change, and they would start going down a path where it was the path they always wanted to go down, you know. And I don't know what was going on before I got there, and me, I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna ask people what's going on before I get to a place. I'm always worried about the present moment, but it's just kind of funny to see. Not funny like haha, but funny more like, yo, that's pretty awesome. That like people, while I'm wearing Moldavite, people would just be like, hey, I think I'm gonna retire next in 6 months. And like you see him like getting ready, and then they be like I never forget. Like I was telling a story a couple months ago about this guy. He I'm not gonna tell the story again, but I'll just briefly run past it. He was like a bachelor, right? He was an older guy. He was an older guy. He was a bachelor, right? None of my business, but he was open. He was talking about it, and within a year, he found a wife, got married, he retired, he's traveling the world. Um, she had a lot of money. She helped him have a lot of money. Um, I'm guessing, my guess is that they learn, now mind you, this is for entertainment purposes only, but my guess is that they were doing doing stock exchange, and doing stocks, and stuff like that, and stock market and all of that. So that's one thing I'll never give advice on. I'm not going to give y'all advice on stocks or anything like that, but my guess is that they were doing investments, and of course stuff that's super legit. And but she was already retired, and he retired, got married, traveled the world, this that, and he would come back to the job, and he would look so well rested, and I would just be like, man, like this Moldavite is cooking right now, like people is rocking. He would come, he would have his white sneakers on, he would have his brand new 2000 and whatever year it was, he would have the next year model, like, so like right now is 2026, he would have the 2027 already, riding riding clean, probably only had 20 miles on it, pocket full of bread, he ate already, about to get on a plane later that day, da, da, da. And I'm like, wow, and when I first met him, he was just working, he was like, he was working there 20, 30 years, and just grinding it out, and which is nothing wrong with that. But I just thought it was amazing what Moldavite was doing, man. Moldavite was like, I never forget, like the person, like where I used to work. The guy, I guess they went corporate before they hired me, and you know, the guy that owned it, he just, he sold it. Well, I wasn't there when he sold it, but he just was like, yo, I'm out. And him, he retired, and he came back and visited, and he looked well rested. And then it was so funny because like the place where I worked at, we were so efficient. It was only a few of us, and we was running that place like a well-oiled machine. You know what I'm saying? We had that place going, man. You know what I'm saying? It was lit. So, And you know me, man. Like how I work for years. I don't call out. I don't call out. I get there early. You know, if they need me, you know, within means. If they need me to stick around after the shift, I'll stick around and take care of some things. But you know, it's always family first. You know what I'm saying? So they, you know, I put that on the forefront. Let them know that's what time it is. You know, it's a contract. I'm here to do the work, and then after this, I gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta get to the babies. So you know, um, but yeah, the Moldavite just helped me lock in, man. It helped me really get like laser focused, man. And I stopped being like kind of. I wouldn't say I'm not gonna, you know, say I was a pushover or anything like that. It just helped me really prioritize the things that were important. It helped me put number one in the number one spot instead of putting the number one in the 10 spot. You know, I put the number one in the number one, and that was what it was. And it was respected. It was respected. I was respected. I respected myself. That's how I got the respect. Was I respected myself? It wasn't like anybody owed me anything, you know, because I'm not entitled. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, you know, nobody owes me anything, you know, and, you know, they don't have to respect me, but I earned it because I respect myself, and I respect people because everybody deserves to be respected. You know, I don't care, you know, where you at in the job. I don't care if you bottom level or you the CEO, you deserve the respect. So that's how I come in. I come in there like that. So, um, but working with Moldavite helped me focus more on me, and it didn't hurt anybody else. Like, because that was my biggest, the biggest misconception is that I felt like focusing on me was gonna hurt people, and I didn't want to hurt people, you know. And being empathic, you know, which is empath is somebody that, you know, you put yourself in other people's shoes. That's what the word empath means, and it's like you know, the biggest thing you never want to do is you choose yourself and then somebody else gets hurt, you know. So I had to learn how to put myself first without being in the way, you know what I mean. And I feel like that was one of the biggest life lessons that I could teach myself, is just really being locked in, you know, with what's important for me. And, you know, of course for my kids too, but, you know, for me, because, you know, my kids want to see me happy. That's a part of their childhood. They need to know that they have a happy parent, you know, happy parents. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, especially a father, you know, because, you know, I'm not going to get super deep, but it's rare. It's rare, but I'm doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing, being there, being available every day. You know, I'm a phone call away if I'm out taking care of business, but I'm there every day. You know what I'm saying? They see me every day, so it's nothing. For me, it's nothing for them to like let me know what's going on and whatever, whatever, whatever. So, yeah, but the Moldavite, you know, I let the kids feel it. I let the kids touch the Moldavite, and they tell me. I didn't even tell them what to experience, and he was like, "Dad, it feels warm. Like it feels like it's like I can feel the power of it." You know, they love it. You know, they love, you know, especially like when they hear it, you know, on this side. And you know, I used to have my little what do you call it? I want to call it a shrine, or I can't think of the name. I'm gonna probably come to me tomorrow morning after I'm not going live. Um, I can't think of the name of it, but anyways, it was a crystal grid. I'll just put it like that. When I had my crystal grid up and I would meditate and everything like that, I got to put it back up because I was doing some renovate, you know, moving around. I had moved around, you know, the stuff in my house, so I took everything apart, spring cleaning. My first time ever doing actual real spring cleaning. You know, I always clean every day, but like actually take everything apart and everything and put it back together. You know, that's another story for another day. But they like to just go through all my different crystals, even the ones that I don't really mess with. They love them, like they play with them, and you know, they tell me what they think about this one, and they, you know, like, oh, Dad, you have an angel aura quartz, or I like that, or you have a celestite. I love celestite, or you have a malachite. I I love malachite. Or you know what I'm saying? Like my different crystals, um, citrine, or my youngest daughter, she used to run around with the green obsidian that I had. Well, actually, I got it for her, but because I didn't want her to lose it, so I would just hold on to it for her. But she loved, because she loves green, so she would love that. She would just carry it with her everywhere, and just stuff like that. But like the Moldavite, to me, was very. I even seen with them, like they're just more vocal. They're more vocal. They're more intentional. I'm talking about my kids. They're more intentional. They let me know what they want to experience or what they want to do. Um, and they know like if I do say no, I always tell them when I can do it. Like I never just say no, they can't do anything. Like I always let them know um, when it will be a really great time, whether it's later that day or later that week, or so on and so forth. But I believe that my it's of course I'm gonna take credit for me. I believe it's parenting my parenting skills that I'm open enough where I allow them to be themselves and be authentic, and they can just they can say what they feel or what they want to. I let them choose what they want for dinner, or where they want to go for the day. Where sometimes they don't want to do nothing but just go to the park, or just try to get them out the house and get them off them tablets. Because they love their tablets, they love their Roblox, they love all their they have their own thing they like to do when it's raining or if it's late. But I believe the Moldavite is really good for keeping with you, keeping in your space, keeping it in your space where you dwell, or where you do your meditation or you're working out. Um, it's a really good. Oh, what's going on, Christopher Sammy? Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I was only supposed to do a half an hour video, but I might get up out of here in like another few minutes. It's an hour. It's an hour live. It's kind of lit. It's I'm just talking about Moldavite. I'm just talking about tektites and metaphysical crystals and their metaphysical properties. Um, just talking about the positive changes and qualities that come with working with tektites like Moldavite or black tektite, or I'm actually gonna order another Libyan desert glass. I loved working with Libyan desert glass. That's another tektite that you can find that out there by out in Egypt. Well, not me. I mean, the people that source it can find it in Egypt. I order mine and I have it sent in, but I haven't been to Egypt. But that's where you find Libyan desert glass, and that's actually older than Moldavite. Um, that's back with actually King Tut wore mold. No, King Tut wore Libyan desert glass. That's on his If you look it up on Google, if you look up his chest plate that he used to wear when he was the king of Egypt, King Tutankhamun, he had a scarab, which is like a desert beetle, and in the middle it was a Libyan desert glass. It was yellow, and what Libyan desert glass is good for is it's good for willpower. It's good for perseverance. It's good for motivation. All right, it keeps you motivated. I remember when I had my Libyan desert glass, the first night I got it, I was so inspired to like I never forget, because I wasn't living where I live now, and I had just got Moldavite, and then I was like, you know what, I want to get Libyan desert glass. So I ordered it. Excuse me. I ordered it on a reputable a reputable vendor on Amazon, right? Really, really, really good people, and I'm telling you, That night, I came in from work, and I was so like not tired, but I was like, you know how it is when you get off of work. So I got in, I got in the house. I was getting ready to kick my shoes off because I like to sit down before. I like to sit down for a few minutes before I take my shower and all that type of stuff. I like to just sit down and like put my phone on the charger and all that type of stuff. And I was like, you know what? Let me go check the mailbox and see if it came. So I got up, went and checked the mailbox. It was in there, right? And I checked my email. They said it was delivered. But when I got to the house, I didn't see it outside my door. So I was like, oh, maybe they put it in my mailbox. And so it was in the mailbox. And I got in the house, I opened it up, and I held it in my hand. And within 10 minutes, right? Now mind y'all, I'm telling y'all, I was literally there within 10 minutes. Power. That's funny. I thought That's funny. I thought I would have got notified. But yeah, I'll just say maybe that's my cue to get up out of here. But I had slid off the scene. Um, I had slid off the scene. Um, I was I was tired. I had ordered the Libyan Desert Glass. Went down to the within 10 minutes. I was on my way to the supermarket to do a whole grocery shopping, right? And mind you, like I had that particular day I had enough food, you know what I mean? I had enough food to like if I needed to make dinner, food, you know what I mean? I had enough food to like if I needed to make dinner and to make breakfast and stuff and going on 10 was already like you they actually refer to Libyan Desert Glass as you they actually refer to Libyan Desert Glass as the sister. I guess that's how they who are is as the sisters, and there's lots and lots and lots of it out there. And you can find it actually probably just by visiting the pyramids or the Sphinx, or you could just you don't I don't think you necessarily have to mine for it like you do other crystals. So it's just out there in the sand because I believe it's from it because it's so hot. It's so hot it's melting the sand into like a glass. So that's my what I is happening. So yeah, so very powerful, very very powerful, powerful Tektite, which is I'm talking about Libyan Desert Glass. I loved it when I worked with it. It was really cool, man. Like I actually want to get another piece. I was looking at it this morning before when I was doing my because I was doing my locks. I was doing my locks yesterday. I did my locks. Boom, 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 boom. I was looking it up online because that's what I want to start putting some money aside for. I was able to find it for not it wasn't expensive, but if I was to go into a crystal shop, I'm not gonna say the name of the crystal shop, but there's this crystal shop that I saw down here in South Florida. Um, I don't mind saying the name. I just can't remember it, and I just don't want to look it up right now while I'm going live. But I was on Las Solas, and I was in a crystal shop that just opened. It was like a high end metaphysical crystal shop, and they had Moldavite and they had Libyan Desert Glass, and so they were selling desert glass for like 600, and I was like, whoa, not 600, whoa, that's crazy. That's a couple of grocery trips. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. That's a lot of bread. I definitely did not pay 600 for mine when I got mine. So I did the math and I said, in the event that I get another Libyan Desert Glass, I know I'm not going to spend 600. I'm not going to spend 600. I'm not going to spend 500. I'm not gonna spend 400. I don't have a problem with it. If that's what I have to spend, then I will spend it. But not so long as I know how to get it for lower and it works. You know what I'm saying? So and it works the same. I understand people got to make their money back, but like 400%, nah, man, nah, we not doing that. You know. Now my Moldavite, I did spend a lot of money. I spent like I think it was like two. I think it was like almost 300 for my Moldavite, and y'all see how big it is. It's only like that green thing next to my thumb. It's like almost 300 for that. So I'm not mad because I put the money up. I went there to see how much it was gonna cost beforehand. Instead of asking, I just wanted to look at it because when you ask, I didn't want to just ask. I was like, all right, well, my breath and paid for it. And I was like, oh man, I was like, I can't believe I just spent almost 300. But then I knew what I was buying was working. It wasn't just like at least I knew where I was spending my money at. Like at least it wasn't like $300 just went up in the air somewhere and I couldn't tell y'all where I spent it. At least I knew exactly, oh, I spent 300 on this. You know what I'm saying? So, but for Libyan Desert Glass, I definitely did not spend anywhere near 200 or 100. I spent less than that. So, that's why I'm going to get another one. That's why I didn't rush to get a second one because I said I can just get another one when I'm ready or when I need to. So, but it works so good, and then it grounds the energy of the Moldavite. So that's why I loved working with it because I'm like, oh, this is good. This is like a good balance because Libyan Desert Glass works more with your solar plexus. That feeling you get when when something you have an intuition feeling in your stomach. Like if you have a gut feeling, because they say your stomach, if something is wrong, you feel it in your stomach. That's from the last. It's really good for study. So me personally, I love Moldavite. I'm gonna forever buy Moldavite. I don't care how many Moldavites I have. I'm gonna buy more. Um, and I always tell y'all support your local crystal shop, right? And or if you know a place online where you can order it and have it sent to where you are, I suggest go for it whenever you feel called. All right, because anytime you're working with crystals or tektites, they are called to you the same as they choose you the same as you choose them. You know, and you are literally going toward the very thing that is calling you. Like I have a lot of crystals. I don't have all the crystals that I ever bought. I donated some of them, some of the ones that I no longer use. Like I had red garnet. I had oh man, I had serpentine. I had no, I'm lying. I had Vesuvianite. I had I donated my red jasper, my Vesuvianite. Man, there was some other ones too. Oh, it was my can't think of the name. It was so I just don't have. So like I want I already seen them already. I seen the ones that I want. And I already know it and it looked like a I want to say it looked like a Dorito chip, but it's not that big. It's kind of big, but it like one thing with Moldova. I'll say this before I close, before I get up out of here. I just want to thank everybody for subscribing. I want to thank everybody for watching. Um, I know when I film this late, usually fluctuates for a little while. Like I did see a lot of people checking in earlier, and 20 people. So to all my current and new, I just want to let the content. All right, do something. That's a confirmation right there. But I'm praying for it for you, and I just want to let y'all know that. But I'm praying for it for you, and I just want to let y'all know that.
sounds going to Joey Digital.
I was the first one to ever join the military in my family. I knew that I wanted to go back to school and produce a big